Hello guys, Crispy here, welcome back to another video. In this one, my friends, I'm gonna be testing a GeForce RTX 5060 Ti in Call of Duty Warzone. This one is a 16GB version of the card. I don't have the 8GB, but you should get the 16 if you're grabbing this. And it's also the Palit Infinity³ version of the card. I am running it with the latest Nvidia drivers as usual, and I'm not manually overclocking it. You can see all of its specs here in Tech Power Ups GPU-Z. And over on the left, I am pairing it with a Ryzen 7 9800X 3D and 32GB of RAM, just to avoid CPU bottlenecks, but you should get the same FPS, especially at higher settings, if you have something slower than a 9800X 3D. You don't need this. Let's get into it, shall we? And first up, let's go over the settings. I am starting at 1440p resolution, unlimited FPS, using the Ultra settings preset with NIS set to native, so it's just sharpening the image, because the game is quite soft without any sharpening, and the texture resolution is set to high, depth of field is set to off. These are the two options that I changed from the Ultra preset. Everything else is set to the preset. Alright guys, this is Verdansk 2025, good to be back once again, and oh, people are already down there, this is terrible, okay. I'm also playing Plunder in quads, but I am alone, so we'll need to pull off some insane skills if we want to do well in this one. Let's start counting our FPS here. It's getting around 100 frames per second down in the downtown area, which is pretty nice actually. I've seen it go down to like 70 frames per second. Sometimes it goes up to like 120, 130. It is a really stable experience. It's high refresh rate pretty much all of the time. Okay, alright, we got that one actually. But yeah, guys, I already knew what to expect here with these settings and this GPU, because these are actually the settings. Oh, yeah, come on. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, should I stay here? Alright, there's a guy over there. Come on. Alright, we didn't get that one. Yeah, this is bad. This is very bad. Should I just... come on, you bastards! Oh, no! Well, we did kind of well, actually, considering the circumstances. But as I was saying, I already knew what to expect here with this GPU and these settings, because these are the settings that I tested on the full review of this GPU in Warzone, and it does really well. It's not a super high refresh rate experience, it's not like a super competitive experience either, but we can make it so if we lower the settings a little bit, like to competitive settings, which I will do in this video as well, so stay tuned for that. Oh wait, there's a guy here, just waiting. Alright. What are you doing? He's AFK, he's completely AFK. Okay, there's a guy over there as well, and we died again. Yes, story of my life, guys. 100 FPS average, there's no problems with this experience whatsoever, and this is why I think, although some people say that this isn't really 1440p GPU because it doesn't have the power needed, it does, okay? Sometimes it needs the DLSS help or frame generation here and there, but you can play, and you should have a 1440p monitor, in my opinion, with this GPU here, because it does a good job. Anyway, around here, you can see more vegetation. Things are starting to drop slightly into like the 70s, maybe possibly 60s on the lowest side of things, but still very acceptable of a frame rate and an experience. And on a high refresh rate monitor, you can actually tell the difference between 60 FPS and 75 FPS, which is what it's dropping to. So no problems there. It still feels very quick and snappy. Again, not adequate for a competitive player, but if you care about the graphics, this looks great. So let's stop it right there though, and let's try it with DLSS on quality. I just want to check it out here for a little bit. How many FPS can we get on top of what we saw? Well, it's not really that many more FPS, as you can see. I'm actually going to stand right here and take a look at the FPS, 116 frames per second there with DLSS. Hopefully nobody's going to kill us in the meantime. Back to NIS native. And instead of 116 FPS, we get 101 FPS, 102. So it's not a huge improvement in terms of frames comparing the native resolution stuff with sharpening and the DLSS quality. It can make a little bit of a difference inside of forest areas and stuff, where it would drop to 75, of course, and now it should only drop to like the 80s, high 80s, probably mid 80s as well, with DLSS quality, that is. But I wouldn't really play with DLSS quality because because this isn't the latest version of DLSS, so it's actually a little bit softer than NIS native was. Yeah, it's a pretty game right now. It's definitely in a better state visual quality-wise than it was last season, for example, with that green tint over everything, or brown tinted, brown graphics everywhere. You know, like, this is a bit brown, yes, but again, it has a good balance of colors, in my opinion. Oh my gosh, what to do, what to do, what to do. Oh boy, I'm fine. You know, I gotta reload this and... come on. Alright, thank you. Got the guy. Good stuff. Whew, okay, they're fighting each other over there. Nope, missed. I'm trying to be quick here, guys, but I forget that this has bullet travel. It's not like Counter-Strike. I'm very used to Counter-Strike. And the AWP plays in Counter-Strike as well, as I'm sure you're aware of if you've watched my full reviews of the games. The GPUs, actually. Okay. Let's go. I keep hearing some shots on the distance. Now I gave away my position. This is bad, guys. This is very bad. Where is the guy? Where did he go? Okay. He jumped off this window on this side over here. God damn it. But at least now we can go back to the downtown area and check out the FPS here. People are still camping on top of that huge building. They spend the entire game there. It's pretty interesting how some people like to play these games, right? But now it's getting around 100 FPS here instead of dropping to like 90s and stuff. Yeah, not too bad at all. Again, it's like a 15% improvement by enabling the DLSS, which won't change everything, but I guess it also gives you a little bit better anti-aliasing, even though it's softer of a look. There are no jaggies anymore, jagged edges, you know, and with NIS there were some jagged edges. Obviously, for competitive and visual clarity, you know, you will want the jaggies because it will give you the best definition, higher pixel count, and no blurriness, which is very important to spot people at a distance and so on. But this is also very doable, even though it's an older version of DLSS. It's very doable. I'm not overriding DLSS, by the way, because I saw someone saying that they did so and they got banned. I think it was on Reddit or something. And yeah, I don't want that. I don't really have input lag numbers for you, unfortunately, because the Nvidia overlay is not working in this title either. But trust me, guys, there is a noticeable difference. Even though the native FPS that we were seeing were above 100 most of the time, adding frame generation on top does make it more input laggy, and I would prefer like 70 FPS without input lag in a competitive shooter title than 150 FPS with input lag, because that's gonna ruin your experience basically. So I think the frame generation doesn't have a place in these games, and I'm gonna go back to NIS here, apply, and now we're gonna play at 1080p resolution. Alright, we're at 1920 by 1080, NIS is set to native, ultra settings, high textures, and we get around the same FPS as frame generation with DLSS quality and 1440p resolution with a cleaner picture at the same time. Once again, like, this is 1080p native with NIS alone. It's not having any softness added to it from temporal anti-aliasing or DLSS, which also is temporal a little bit, although I am seeing a lot more jaggies, as you can see over there. On that building, yeah, that looks pretty bad. But guys, I'm gonna start counting our FPS, and this is actually a competitive experience. I'm gonna grab a sniper rifle from here. Hi. Uh-oh. Ah, come on. All right, I got him, but they also got us. From where? What? Maybe there was another one on top of the building, on top of us as well? I'm not sure. I'm going to do this one. Oh, no, maybe it was this one. Back up. Camping bastards everywhere, man. There's an attack helicopter. Helicopter. Yes. Alright, let's go. We got some shields here as well. No problems. You know, like, I'm gonna lose this one, obviously. But I don't care. I had fun anyways. We got 4 kills over there on the top right corner. I'm happy with that. Usually I play a lot worse than this. And we've been killed a bunch of times, but only by people camping, mostly. yeah. That's it for 1080p resolution, 146 FPS average was the result. It's flawless basically at this resolution, obviously. So I'm just gonna bump it up now to 4K. 1440p it was already really good as well. Can it do 4K? Here we have it, 4K resolution using these same settings, Ultra, native AA from NIS here, and let's see how it does. Alright, so this is gonna be a bit rough, guys. We're getting 60s here on the plane, which is less intensive than down there, while dropping still 60s, upper 50s at times, not too terrible. I mean, it's ultra settings still, and ultra settings aren't really that fantastic because there are still extreme settings over it, but, you know, it's a 5060 Ti, so I think I prefer to use ultra settings instead of extreme. Let's start counting our FPS here. Native resolution looks very good, although there are major slowdowns here. Like, we were just running here, and it slowed down like crazy with a huge spike. That was weird. Could it be like the vegetation or something, that little tree there? I don't know, guys. I don't know. Maybe it was just loading because we started the game just now. But yeah, it's not great. It's around 60 FPS average, but there are lots of inconsistencies there on that frame time graph. You can see it like go up and down, up and down, up and down there as I move and stuff. And the differences, the discrepancies there are definitely super noticeable. Oh my god, this is awful. So it didn't feel smooth whatsoever there, guys. So at this point, you are at the big disadvantage if you are playing with these FPS against other people with high refresh rate monitors and stuff, and even like 5060 Ti's possibly, but with higher FPS because they're not playing at 4K. So to no one's surprise, I think 4K is a no-go with this GPU here, at least on ultra settings. Maybe on low it will be very playable. Now what if we do like performance DLSS? That could make it a lot better, yes. Indeed it does, guys. And since it's 4K resolution, performance DLSS, even though it's an older version of DLSS, it doesn't look bad whatsoever. I mean, it's close enough to the native stuff to where it just looks, again, like you're using some TAA as an anti-aliasing instead of NIS previously, where things were super sharp. So this is still super doable, guys, in terms of looks. And now, instead of getting those awful 40 FPS, we're getting like 40 FPS over that. Oh boy, these are bombs. Alright, couple of kills. There we go. Maybe I should have went with this one. I don't know. It's a nice weapon. You know what I thought about now, guys? That if you are looking up at the camping bastards from down here, you are actually going to get more FPS, so it's an advantage if you don't camp. So don't camp, please. Alright. Oh boy. Anyway, yeah, this is really good. Honestly, if it was down to this or 1440p native resolution, I think I would pick this in terms of visual quality. The experience is very similar, almost died there. In terms of FPS, this is like 10 FPS slower than that, but it still doesn't drop from 60 FPS at all. And in terms of the graphics quality, nice, more shields. It looks really good. It looks sharper, in my opinion, than 1440p native. So apparently, if you are willing to play with DLSS performance at 4K resolution, which again, in the vast majority of titles, it looks better than 1440p native, you can actually run a 4K display with a card like this. You got the VRAM for it as well, which is nice, 16 gigabytes. Very good that they put it here in this GPU. But yeah, this GPU is changing my mind a little bit when it comes to 4K gaming on a budget because of its VRAM buffer and the performance with DLSS enabled and the look of DLSS enabled as well, because this isn't even the latest version of DLSS, as I told you plenty of times already, yet it still looks good. It doesn't look like you're playing at a very low resolution. Although it's upscaling from a 1080p picture all the way up to 4K, the upscaling part of it is doing such an amazing job that it ends up looking better than 1440p. That's awesome, guys. I really like this experience, damn. Okay, not too bad at all. And now I just restarted the game. It's loading the shaders there or compiling them in the background. Let's go over the settings first. We're back to 1440p resolution native with 100% resolution scale and NIS just to sharpen that image. And I just set the texture resolution to high. Everything else is set to the minimum settings preset. So these are competitive settings, you could say. Oh, we have a squad this time around. I forgot to remove it. Okay, so I'm probably just gonna screw things up for them. Oh boy, I thought it wasn't gonna open there. We got extremely close. Okay, sniper rifle right away. Hey, come on, wait. Come on, no, that guy. What the hell? Okay, finally got him. Wait a second. No, he's moving down now. All right. Let's go. Start counting our FPS. I really like the sniper rifles now. They take a lot of HP off of them. They're really punchy as well. And this loadout, which is one of the default loadouts, has a weapon already. An SMG, or actually, is this an assault rifle? I'm not even sure, but yeah, this is good. Look at that, 200 FPS at times. Really nice. Oh, yes. I like it. It's really good, really responsive, obviously. These are not fake frames, you know, or AI-generated frames. This is pretty good experience. Wait, what is this? I don't care about that. I want shields. I do want shields. Yeah, lots of shadow popping now on the lowest settings, but that's to be expected. At least we still keep the high textures here. We got plenty of VRAM for that. Ay. It's a lot of them. Ah! Okay. Flipping hell, camping bastards, dude. Like, look at this. They're just there, looking at us, standing still on top of a building. Seriously. Oh boy. Ugh, that shadow though. Every time I see the shadow, I'm just... But it's fine, guys. It's fine. Where are they? Okay, got one. Alright. Reload. Look at the texture there. What the hell? It's like it has no texture on the ground here. It does, but looking at it from this angle with the lighting, yeah. No tessellation, that's it. The texture is still there, but the tessellation is just terrible now. Obviously, that's what you want. Simplistic graphics for competitive advantage. You could possibly spot people over there, you know, on top of that hill. And it does have grass, but you don't even see the grass at these distances. So that is a huge advantage because they could be hiding around the grass like this, and they can't really see you. Yet, if I was there looking at here, I wouldn't be able to see that grass. So I would be able to see their heads perfectly. So next up, let's try it at the 1080p resolution using exactly the same settings. Native NIS, high textures, minimum preset. And here we get to the 200 FPS mark, and we're in overtime as well. So every time I test 1080p, it's in overtime. What the heck, right? Start counting our FPS here. And maybe I'm going to play another one at 1080p resolution just to drop in the downtown area and see the FPS there. But yeah, this is close to 200, 200 plus sometimes as well. Really fast experience. It's great for like a 240Hz 1080p monitor if you're into that kind of play, you know. It will do this in Counter-Strike 2 as well, Valorant, 240 plus FPS all of the time with a good CPU as well. And here, yeah, even in Warzone, which is a bit more intensive, quite a lot more intensive than those two games that I mentioned, you can achieve close to those 200, 240 frames per second sometimes. So very good results here from the 5060 Ti, my friends. There's a guy. Finally, we're spotting people. It's been a while. Damn, we spawned in the middle of nowhere with our friend, you know. Uh-oh. Okay. Just died, thank you. Alright, there's a guy there. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Come on, you saw me. Take the shot. There we go. That's what I like. You know, this was on purpose. I missed everything on purpose because I wanted to go to the downtown area. Hopefully we'll spawn there. Yes. But no. we're not even going to spawn. The game's gonna end before... Yes, okay. Alrighty, here we go. We still haven't dropped there in the downtown area this time around, but we're going there. We got a quad bike. The plane was really far away, so that's why. Anyway, 1080p, as expected, is flawless. We're here in the downtown area, dropping down into like the low 200s. Not even that often, you know, it's most of the time 230s, 220s. So, extremely good results, my friends. But again, you will need to make sure that you have a fast CPU that can keep up with these frames. 9800X3D will obviously do it, 7800X3D as well, 58 or 5700X3D, I think they're probably gonna be good enough for these FPS as well. So, you already see camping bastards. I mean, seriously, how did you get here this fast? The plane was so far away. Oh my gosh, yeah. Waste your ammo on me, waste your ammo, please. Alright, yeah, this is great, guys. Let's re-shield a little bit right here. Okay, good. And I am going to chill back, relax, and change it to 4K resolution, and then not relax anymore because we're going out again. Wait, gotta change monitor. If you're wondering why I keep saying I'm gonna change monitor, it's because this is a dual mode monitor. It's native 4K, but then it also has native 1080p. And this is native wait, what? No way. No. What? No, it's actually true. Yes. Of course, because we were getting like 180 FPS at 1440p. This is 4K. Native resolution, NIS, is set to native there. So you can have a super crispy picture quality at 4K resolution with very nice FPS as well. Not super high refresh rate once again, but on the monitor I'm using, which is 120 Hz at 4K resolution with this capture card, it's actually 160 Hz, but yeah. Anyway, capture cards only go to like 120 at 4K. Why does it keep blinking though? That's really weird. But yeah. It feels really smooth. It's really solid, guys. Not gonna lie, like this is great. And having those 16 gigabytes also means that you can keep the textures on high, which will look a lot better than low or very low that you would need to utilize with an 8 gigabyte GPU. So again, if you're buying a 5060 Ti, avoid the 8 gigabyte model. There's a guy over here. Hello. What? What are you doing? He was looking at the sky. Why? What are my boys up to, though? There's a chopper there, landing almost. Yeah, he's landing. He's landing. Coming to a stop here. Come on. There it is. Oh, that was sick. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Hello. Hello. Only one head there. Oh, yeah. Come on. Do you have a sniper rifle, buddy? Please tell me you do. Come on! Okay. The guy is almost dead, so am I, though. Please, shoot him. Shoot the bastard. Shoot him in the head. Come on! Alright. Where is he? Need to go inside. Grab some more armor, please. What the hell? It actually slowed down a lot there. Did you notice that? I definitely did. I'm not sure if it dropped from 60 FPS, but it probably went into the 60s, and that was noticeable. When you are used to playing at a very high refresh rate, even 100 FPS, and go down to 60 FPS, that drop is definitely noticeable. And it's happening here again with the smoke effects. We went to like 70 FPS. Okay, so not terrible by any means. It's actually a really good experience here at 4K resolution native, but I would still lower it down to DLSS performance and play like that because it will deliver way higher frame rates, of course. Alrighty, we're dropping 130 FPS. Again, we got that different look from DLSS. Doesn't look like it's running a low resolution, but it's definitely softer than it was with NIS native. Yeah, that sharpness with NIS native is really good here in this game. I think it looks even better than Fidelity FX CAS, which is what a lot of people utilize. And NIS native is also a little... let's not go there. It's also a little bit better in terms of performance, a little bit less intensive than CAS, I believe. Come on, where's the guy? No. He has friends everywhere. God damn it. Oh, there's a guy here, maybe? No? On top of the building? I'm not sure. Hello? Yes, 2 guys. Okay. Do I have? Yes, I do have grenades. Good stuff. Threw grenade. Please die. No, they didn't die with the grenade. Let's throw this one out. All right. They're screaming inside, the characters. So, no! 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 Ah! I just wanted to poop in peace. But yeah, it's really stable. It looks really good, sharp and detailed. Though it's softer than native, obviously, but it is DLSS performance after all, so normal. But yeah, it works just fine at 4K resolution. It's a 4K visual experience, in my opinion, even though it's a little bit softer. Once again, it's definitely better than 1440p and 1080p were. So, yeah, you can have a 4K monitor with this one, although probably not super recommended because 1440p is the sweet spot, and even 1080p to a point, right? Especially with 8GB models of these cards, like 1080p is the maximum resolution that you should ever play on those. But yeah, 1440p, I think it's very adequate. But if you want to do some 4K, once again, it is very possible here. It all depends on the games that you're playing and whether or not you mind playing with DLSS performance in not so intensive titles like Warzone to achieve good FPS. And again, remember, like in super intensive titles, DLSS performance is not going to save you with this GPU, in most of them at least, so keep that in mind. But with that said, guys, thanks very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. I definitely did so. We killed only 2 people here. Yeah, very bad actually. But it was fun, right? Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one. Love you all. Bye-bye.